You want to see something cool?
I always want to see something cool. That's a T-Rex.
Yeah. There were these big creatures that used to walk there a long time ago. They got killed up by this big explosion. It was this kind of like what happened to us.
Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting thrill-packed deep-sea adventure called Defending My Collection. Here on Channel Donstar, I'm your host, old Roger D. How you doing? This is, wow, right off the bat, let's get going. This is much needed. It's been, hold on. This is the series of videos where I show off my Blu-ray collection. And I already did the A's through Z's, and now we're in the 3D section. The 3D movies! Yes, the movies I have in my collection that are strictly 3D films, or 3D Blu-rays. We're up to the letter T. Isn't that cool? We only got two more videos to do in this Defending My Collection series of the Blu-rays. Not without mentioning like pickups and things, but you will see everything I have in the next two videos of what I have on Blu-ray to this date. And then I think later we're going to go into Series 3 where I talk about the DVDs I still have, but that's a whole nother story. Yeah, so this is kind of a long time in coming. A lot of things have been happening in my life, and a lot of things have gotten sidetracked. And those people that do know me kind of know. Those people who watch my channel probably know because I've made videos on them. And some people say, why are you telling your personal stuff to everybody? And I said, because it's me, it's old Roger D on Channel Donstar, and I have no other life but to tell you folks what's going on in it. Does that make any sense? I don't know. You know, it's very warm. There's things in my house that make weird noises. Talk about Roger going off on tangents. I don't know if you could hear that, but it's like, eh. That's my refrigerator. I think my refrigerator here in the apartment's going. It's starting to make weird noises. And then when it does go off, wow, if you can only hear that. If you can only hear that. It's going, when it does go off, then it like breathes. And it sounds like Mother from the ship Alien, from the Nostromo, you know, when Sigourney goes in to talk to Mother in the computer. And you hear that. That's how the fridge sounds when it's done the cooling process. And I know it's going. Why am I telling you people this? Because it's me, and I tell you things like this. God, it doesn't sound good at all. I'm going to have to call the landlord. And I know it's going bad because before it goes like into this, like when I got ice for my soda, the ice was kind of melting. Well, it wasn't melting, but there was a sheen of liquid on there. It wasn't frozen, frosty, freezy ice. So it's cold enough to keep my food. You know, you people are saying, just shut the hell up and show us your movies. Yeah, well, I was just going to say that, yeah, it's been a while, and I figured, well, it ain't going to get done unless I do it. And plus, I've been tired. I just been like, you know, I just don't feel like making a video. Well, that's not true because I've made other videos, but I just didn't feel like talking about 3D movies, and for some reason today's your lucky day because I'm getting it done. Oh, excuse me, our first belch of the day. So yeah, we're doing the teas today, and I think we'll get right to it. Actually, I was looking at the stack here, and I was like, wait a minute, wait a moment. This isn't a tea movie. And I think I might have threw it on the shelf in the teas because the first the first word is 3D. And that doesn't make sense because, you know, you have 3D dinosaur, 3D this, 3D that. And I don't know why I put this under the T's. This should actually be an S. So this is like a leftover from the last video. And hey, we're starting. Yeah, we're starting. It's about damn time. Well, I'm trying to talk to the people, fill them in. Don't do that. They want to see the movies. Well, I'm trying. Me, myself, and myself. Irene's not here, no. 3D African Safari. However an elephant goes. 3D Safari Africa, not African Safari. 3D Safari Africa, although I don't think it makes a difference either way. Keep up with Hunter Ellis in Blu-ray 3D. Yeah, this comes with the Blu-ray and the 3D version. There's the old cover. And there's the old back. And what do we got? It feels like it. No, it's not a cheapo eco. It's just a regular disc that's upside down. They always are upside down when you open the discs. You can do that and go like that and then open it. It'll be upside down. All right, I'm a liar. Yeah, from what I remember, again, this is one I haven't seen in a while. But I was in the mood for some 3D, and there was no 3D being released that week, so I picked up, or it was on sale on Amazon for like 10 bucks, and I says, hey, it's another 3D documentary, and these are always good, and this one, from what I remember, is really decent. It's shot very, very well. See if there's any people that their names jump out at me. It's written and directed by David Kane. But no, there's no other names. Digital Revolution Studios, Brian Bubazis, and the 3D Safari 3D. This Digital Revolution Studios presents a 3D Safari production, 3D Africa. So this should probably actually go in the A's, right? Because it's 3D Safari. I don't know, but I got it. It's in the collection. Let's move on, folks. This movie, again, thanks to the folks, well, it is F-O-L-K-S. Thanks to the folks over on the Bluray.com 3D forums. I heard a lot about this, and I heard it was only going to be available in 3D in France, I believe. Les Colliers, yeah, this is a French release. Of course, the director is Jean-Pierre Jeunet, who, of course, if you do know, made Delicatessen, made Children of the Lost City of Children, the one with all the Santa Clauses. And Amelie, great movie, Amelie. Really interesting director, and I was looking so forward to seeing this because I heard the 3D was pretty damn fantastic in it. And like I said, the only version that was available was this mega set that came out in France, and I picked it up. I do believe in ghosts. I do think that this has now been released. I don't know. Tell me down in the messages if this has gotten a U.S. release. I do believe that it did get a U.S. release, but not in 3D. I think the only way you can get this movie in 3D is through this import. And this is a big, mega. Look at this. Look at this. It's Tia. Actually, the full name. Oh, you're going to do this to me now because it's in France. The Extravagant Voyage of T.S. Spivet. It's T.S. Spivet. All right, that's how I go. That's why it's in the T's, because it's the unusual, extremely long, fun voyage of T.S. Spivet. This little guy here, who invents something. I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about this movie, other than what's her name's in it. Yeah, old what's her name? Oh, I know what's her name. She's been in a whole bunch of those other movies. Tim Burton's wife. Come on. And it's in France. Anyway, Helena Bonham Carter is in this, plays the mom. And it's a little boy who's on a farm, and he invents something, and sends it away to, I know this one. He sends it away to the where you register things you make. Oh gosh, what do they call that? Anyway, they love it, and they call, and he answers the phone when his parents aren't around. And they say, you must come out, and we're going to give you an award for this invention. I have to hold it like this because it's so freaking heavy. And so he, by himself, just leaves the farm and traverses the galaxies. No, he traverses the world. Well, not the whole world. But he takes this very, 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 very long journey to go there. And then when he gets there, they realize he's just this little kid, and they don't believe him. And it is such a heartwarming, beautiful film that, if you can, must be seen in 3D. The 3D is absolutely phenomenal in this movie. It might not be for everyone because there's a lot of very long, slow, beautiful imagery of landscapes and such. And I know there's a lot of people that get bored with that stuff. You damn non-artists. Enjoy your visuals. You only got one life out there. You don't want this quick-cutting transformer crap. So yeah, I would say check out this movie. If you can see it in 3D, see it in 3D. This came out like in 2014, but it didn't get, no, 2013, and it didn't get any release really until 2014 by Gaumont Video. Anyway, it comes, here's the thing, and it slips out. It's huge, I swear, it's huge. And you go, oh, the big one's the book. No, the little one is the book. And the book, unfortunately, is all in French, but it's the entire movie in storyboard form. You can kind of see how it goes. And it's fascinating. It's fantastic, fascinating. And then here is the packaging for the actual disc itself. And it slides open like that. And here are some little drawings of the invention. And a little note. And then it opens like such with some more cool writing. And it opens again. And yes, it is a 5-disc set, which I believe is the Blu-ray 3D, the Blu-ray, the other Blu-ray, one's extras, the extra DVD, and then the film DVD. I love the film. I've seen it at least 4 times since I've had it, and I've had it for those years I mentioned. Oh wait, that goes. It's like one of those maps, those old maps that your dad used to. I can't figure out how to fold it. Jane, will you take the time and fold the map? I'm trying to drive. We're going to Wyoming. So anyway, yeah, it's a big mega set. And since it's old, you might be able to find this for a decent price, although you'd still have to import it. But the movie in itself, even if you don't see it in 3D, and I want to stress that with the whole 3D series that I'm doing here. I'm a big 3D fan. Yeah, you know that. But I'm also showing you just these are movies I have in my collection. And I'll talk about how good the 3D is, but the movies themselves are good, whether you see them in 3D or not. So if you get a chance to see The Extraordinary Adventures of T.S. Spivet, or whatever the thing is called, check it out, because it's a great little movie. It really is, and it's beautifully done and beautifully visual. This was bought on a whim. Let me take a sippy. This was bought, are we recording? I hope so. This was bought on a whim, just because I was looking again for something 3D, and I knew nothing if the quality was going to be good. I never saw the trailer. I just saw, yeah, I'll pick it up. Tad, The Lost Explorer. You know me with family films. I love family films, and a lot of times you take a chance with a family film that's in 3D, and even if the 3D or the movie isn't that great, the 3D is pretty damn fantastic. I have friends that wouldn't spend time watching Yogi Bear, or what's the other one? Open Season. Oh, it's just children's stuff. But man, the 3D makes those movies pop, man. They make them so entertaining. And from what I remember, because it's been a long time since I've seen old Tad here, I enjoyed it, and I thought the 3D was pretty good. I'm going to say that because I really don't remember it. But he's kind of, he's a lost explorer. He's kind of like, it's kind of like an Indiana Jones type thing. Comes with 2 discs, Blu-ray and DVD, I'm sure. Yes. I could just read that. And, well, the Blu-ray and the 3D are on one disc, and then the DVD is separate. But, yeah, if you're looking for something for your 3D collection and you love family films or children's films, give this one a try. It was pretty fun from what I remember. Now this one I had a great time with, and I was kind of blown away. I kind of heard good things about it. And it's a Disney film, and I pretty much, ignored it when it came out. I didn't read any reviews. I just kind of heard people saying, oh, it's a lot of fun. And the old Blu-ray forums, I believe this is the one, yeah, had mentioned that there was a list at one point that somebody made of the Blu-ray 3D films that had like the best pop-outs, things that would expand the screen or had just great visuals in it. And this movie came up, and when I found a copy, I picked it up, and I was lucky enough to get the full lenticular slipcover, and it's a Disney mega set. Do they call these mega sets? No. But you get the Blu-ray 3D that you're going, shut up and show what it is. The Blu-ray 2D, wow, they say 2D on there. The DVD and the digital copy. I'm talking about Tangled. Look at that. I love the horse. The horse is like a dog, like a pet dog to the guy. And the scene in question that they praise is the lantern scene. The scene, this is an older movie, so I'm sure a lot of families have seen this, or movie fans have seen this. You don't have to be a family to be a movie fan. You can watch all kind of movies, Just watch them. I crack myself up sometimes. I really got to join Movie Rewards, man. I have so many of these digital copies in here. Digital codes, and this comes with the tchotchkes, comes with the Blu-ray 3D, comes with the Blu-ray, comes with a DVD and a digital copy on hard disk, I believe. Really had a great time with it. It's pretty much the story of Rapunzel, right, with the long hair, let down your hair. And I enjoyed it. I had a great time. It is one of my favorite modern day Disney films. I mean, I kind of classify the Disney films in 2 categories. Well, I could even say the Pixar Disney is a 3rd category. But the classics that probably go up to maybe Aladdin, and then everything after Aladdin, you're Brave, you're this, I think are like the modern ones. You're Finding Nemo's. Finding Dory coming out later this year. Earlier, it would have been out already. Shut up, I'm trying. Where's Barry? I don't need Barry anymore. I got this guy. Shut up, I tell you. I'm just telling him about. No, don't tell him, but tell him. And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it's kind of cool. Anyway, Tangled, really enjoyed it. Again, if you have a chance to see it in 3D, see it in 3D because it's really well done. This one is not a Disney film, but I did import it from the UK because I saw the trailer, and the trailer was kind of, And I'm not a fan of the Disney version of this tale. And being that this was in 3D, I figured, well, why not? Let's get it. And because the visuals looked really good. It was a CGI anime, kind of like that, and kind of like, the Pixar's. And I said, the stuff in the jungle will probably look really good in 3D. So I picked it up, I imported it. The Legend Lives, Tarzan. This is the other version of Tarzan that had come out. And yeah, the 3D I was very impressed with. This was very adequate, very good. A lot of fun. It's a different take on it. But I enjoyed it. I don't have much more to say with it. I was able to get the slipcover. It's a slightly bigger case because it's from the UK. It just comes with the 1 disc in not a cheapo eco case. And I'm happy it's in my collection. Yeah, there you go. Never been a fan. Never watched the show. Never followed the fandom. I knew there were fans out there. When this show aired in the 80s, I was already a strapping young buck of an adult out there having fun and getting drunk and doing all this other stuff. So I never really watched a lot of the Saturday morning television stuff from that time. Plus, which we can go into a whole nother road where I don't like the animation style of the 80s animation. There's a different... I was brought up on the Warner Brothers, the Max Fleischer, the Walter Lance, I believe. The very smooth, fluidy animation, Bugs Bunny, you know. And to me, the 80s was more closer to the... I used to call it, and no offense to any fans that grew up in the 80s that love these animated cartoons, but I used to call it the cheap animation because they were cutting corners. They weren't drawing enough cells to make it look smooth, so they were very stilted, very much like anime. And I don't want to upset the anime fans because I do love a lot of anime. But anyway, we're talking about this. So I never was a fan or anything. Saw the trailer when it was coming out, and I was like, okay. And we're talking Ninja Turtles, all right? I was going to say, I never really watched the movies, you know, The Secret of Ooze. And again, it was that Cowabunga dude. It was all that stuff that I thought, because I was older, I didn't grow up watching the stuff, but I thought it was just stupid. You know, it was just these turtles. They're doing karate and they're goofy and they like pizza and turtles in a half shell. You know, fine. I never badmouth stuff. I never did in my entire life. I would always say, well, that's fine. You like it? That's cool. It doesn't work for me. So I didn't even see I think there's 4 movies they released. Maybe the last one was an animated, and then I think they did animated movies. Again, I don't follow it. I still, to this day, don't follow the Turtles. And I know there's a big fandom, a huge fandom, and that's fantastic. That's great. But I saw the trailer for this, and it's Michael Bay, right? Isn't this Michael Bay's crap? I hate it when they don't put... Oh, you got to look here. No, this is Jonathan Leesman. But didn't Michael Bay have something to do with this? Indiana Jones, Visible, Heavy Metal, John and Tintin Turtles. So I thought he produced or something. Maybe I don't know. But I saw it and I said, oh, 3D, a 3D movie's coming out, and I know I'll be getting it when it comes out in my collection. Around this time when they were showing movies, TV was big. It was at the heat of it, and whenever there was a trailer that I saw it, I say in real 3D, I was like, nah, that's going to go in my collection. Whether it's a good movie or not, that's going in my collection because I needed to collect everything 3D. I just knew that if it was going to go away again, I wanted to have a library of 3D films. And so whether it was good or bad, I was going to buy it nonetheless. And boy, I love this. And I know the fans, the diehard fans, have a lot of problems with this. And I don't see it because I was never a fan. So I'm looking at this movie as a stranger that I don't know the origin, I don't know the story, I don't know any of the characters, and I had a ball with this. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. The 3D is pretty phenomenal in this too. There are lots and lots of fantastic shots in 3D, and my gosh, that falling down the mountain scene at the end where they're in the snow is phenomenal. It's what do they call it? Demo material. You know, if you have a 3D setup and you have a friend come over who'd never seen 3D, you throw that scene in and you go, watch, this is 3D TV. Yeah, had a great time with this. Got the slipcover with it. Digital copy, got the 3D version, got the Blu-ray and the DVD in there, I do believe. And we will move on. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Turtles in a half shell. Actually, I'll be honest with you. What was it, a year ago? Maybe 2 years ago? I'm a viewer of the universe of Zira Nizarak. It's him, and then he has his, I was going to say minions. They're not his minions, they're his friends. You know, you have Skin Slip, you have Stoudman, you have Garbage Gamer. And it goes all the way down to Ryan Chataway, and he has such a great fandom, and he's a great guy, a great father, and he's the one that I really started watching on YouTube when I started, and he is the one that the fridge finally went off. Now it's going into mother mode, alien mother mode. He's the one that pretty much inspired me, saying, you know, he's got a major collection. Well, I got one too, and he's showing off his collection. Why can't I? So he's the one that kind of gave me the inspiration to start making these videos. So thanks, Sean. Like you're watching. But they had they do SNI, which is Saturday Night Insanity, which is always hilarious, always entertaining, those guys. But they, for a while, were doing Saturday Night Fridays, I think it was called, or Friday, Saturday nights. I think it was Saturday morning, Friday nights, something like that, where they would take a number of 80s, famous 80s animated cartoon shows that they grew up watching, and they would show them, they would supply the link so you could watch along, and they'd supply commentary to them. And we're talking about Ninja Turtles. That actually is the first time I started watching or witnessed any of the animated cartoons from beginning to end. Was on that special Friday night that they did. I worked the overnights on Friday, so that was great. And then things went away, and I think hours changed, and then they just stopped doing it. But that's the connection. That's why I brought this up, is because I did start watching the show, you know, with them. They had some other ones which I can't think of right now, but there were some crazy ones. But anyway, let's move on. And they're still out there. They're still doing SNI and Skin Slip and them. I'll put some links down below in the message thing, and I'm sure when I was bringing them up, I put their link up there somewhere. So go check them out. Go subscribe to them and watch their stuff, because they're highly entertaining YouTubers, and they've been around for years and years and years. Especially Sean, from back before the YouTube days, making videos and that. This movie got a lot of hate, and then the fans came out and they said, it's not that bad, we like it, it's fun, and I'm in that category. I was kind of worried to see it. Again, it was one of these movies that I did not go to the show. No, I did not go to the theater to see it, but I knew once it came out that I was going to be buying the 3D version, and I had so much worry because I heard it was so bad, and there was a lot of controversy about giving away spoilers in the trailer. And when I saw it, I had a blast. I had no problems with Terminator Genisys, or Genisys. 3D. I had no problems with it. I wish they had a lenticular cover. This is kind of crappy, but it's still the slip cover. It's still a slippy cover. Yeah, there are some diehard T fans that just don't like what they did, you know. But if you think about it, those other movies are still there. You don't have to watch this one. You know, I gave up after the second, although on DVD I had the third one. Never owned the fourth one. What was that called? Salvation with Christian Bale. Never owned that one. I watched it. I did not like it from the beginning, and never had it in any format, any type of medium. But when this one came out, I just loved the idea of them going back to different times of the other movies, of the first two movies, and changing things. And a lot of people did not like that. No, sir, they did not like that. But I did. I had no problems with it. It was great to see Arnold back again, reprising the role again. A lot of people didn't. There's the 3D, there's the Blu-ray, there's the digital copy. Yeah, 3D. It's pretty adequate. There was rumors that Cameron was they were going to remaster T2 and make that into a 3D conversion, the good way, you know, like they did Jurassic and Titanic. Really take the time and make it. And And watching this one and finally seeing a T2 or a Terminator movie in 3D with the Metal Man, and just stuff like that. It was like, yeah, I'd like to see T2 one of these days converted. But what's going on with 3D? Who knows? Who knows? It ain't going away, not anytime soon. Maybe it'll go into another format. But yeah, I enjoyed Terminator Salvation, Genisys. I love, my favorite all-time horror movie of all time is the original classic. Very close second is the sequel that came out in the 80s. And I could watch those two movies back to back and have no problem with it. One, an intense, horrifying tale. The other, a tongue-in-cheek twist on the original family. Chainsaw, Texas Chainsaw. Cool lenticular cover. I did not like the next two sequels that followed. They weren't the New Line. What company brought those out? I can't remember. The one with Arlie Emery playing the demented cop, and something about it just didn't. Maybe because it was a modern take, and I just had issues with it. I had them on DVD. I don't have them no longer. I don't have the Blu-rays of those. Maybe if I see like a box set come out, I'll see. This one I had no, again, desire, but it was going to be in 3D, and it was like, yeah, Chainsaw in 3D. I'm buying it. Huge bonus is the opening credits where you see actual footage from the original 1974, 72, 74 classic converted to 3D in those opening credits. And that was just a kick to see that. Man, that was so great. And then they have, not Bill Heinzman. Oh, come on. Devil's Rejects, Chop Top. Bill, you know his name's down there. Have him playing the cook was kind of like, well, that ain't gonna work, but it worked for me. And I like, even though there's some issues with the timeline, yeah, we all know that, I really enjoyed it. And I liked the character who plays Leatherface in this. I thought he was pretty intense and violent. Again, it's nowhere near as great as the first two. But that's because I grew up watching those. I was a little kid in the theater when I saw those. Not the second one, but the first one in the 70s. And it terrified me. Now people watch it and they understand and they appreciate for what the original is, but it's very dated to them. Me, I totally connected with those people because my neighbors were these young kids that were out there partying, wearing those clothes, the bell bottoms, the long blonde hair. Hey man, how's it going? That talk. I grew up with that. So those characters were real to me, and it made the original Chainsaw, which I gotta do a full talk on one of these days, made it even more real to me. So anyway, my favorite Tobe Hooper film anyway. Bill, what's his name? Anyway, Texas Chainsaw, pretty good. 3D's pretty decent. Like I said, the opening credits floored me, even though it was just a conversion. But it was very adequate 3D. Excuse the spittle I just did. Very adequate. One of the Marvels, all the Marvels should be in 3D. I think they've missed out on 1, 2, 3. If you count the Hulk, 3. Yeah, 3. And if you count Ang Lee's Hulk, 4. But every other Marvel movie that had come out is now in 3D, and I pretty much have all of them on Blu-ray. And this was one of them. When I first saw it, I wasn't a fan. I was really looking forward to Thor. But boy, I did not care for it. I really didn't for some reason. It's grown on me since then. But I was just expecting something more big and spectacular. And when the little scene happens, I call it the little scene, with, I can't think of the robot's name? In the little town. It just looked so TV movie-ish to me. Sorry, it just did. But it's grown on me now. Hemsworth, I think, is great. He makes a great Thor. So yeah, and I got the old slipcover, which is in a lenticular, and the 3-disc doodly-doo. Very dark, very dark. 3D almost. It's there, but it could have been better. And not a demo disc for 3D. And then, of course, after the next, what do they call them? Cycles? Not generate. There's a term they use. Phase 1, Phase 2, something like that. We got Thor: The Dark World. Come on, where are the lenticular covers, guys? Come on, what studio is that? Marvel. Well, Disney. A better movie. Really liked it. A lot darker. Not in light, but story-wise, I thought. And it was after the success of Avengers and I was going to say the Hulk, Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2 are 2D only. They weren't converted, and the two Hulks. I'd like to see the Edward Norton Hulk converted to 3D, as well as the Iron Man movies. Although the second one, with others, I have issues. This one only has the 2-disc. Which is the 3D and the DVD and the Blu-ray. But yeah, again, I would say this and this pretty much on same par with the 3D quality. Yeah, could have been much better. This was one of those sight unseen. I was blown away by the 3D. The first movie was such a visual eye candy treat that when I heard the sequel was coming out, I was like, if they do it the same way, that 3D is going to be really cool. And to me, it works. I've read things where it wasn't pleasing to people, but I thought it was all right. I've heard a lot of things about story and that, but when I'm going to watch 300, what is this one called? Rise of an Empire. I got the big bowl of popcorn, I got the beer or the mixed drink, and I'm just looking for eye candy and enjoyment, and I thought this was a whole lot of fun. Again, it ranks up there with like the Hercules and the Conan, and they're just entertainment that they throw on. 2 discs, got the Blu-ray and the 3D. Yeah, they're not stacked. I thought they're doing that now. They're doing that now. They have the one, and then they have and they have 2 discs stacked on top. They shouldn't do that. Why do they do that? Cheap, man. Cheap. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. All the boat stuff and everything. Boat stuff, yeah. It was good. It was good. Are we in the T's? Just like when I was talking about Sin City, the one in the S's. I was. There's another one that should be converted. The original Sin City. But, yeah, so I enjoyed it. It's in the collection. Got nothing much to say about it. Got this one off eBay. Real cheap, like maybe $12. Was surprised it came with a slipcover, but the slipcover, it's not really beat up, but the edges are kind of white, worn. And I heard really bad things about it. But it was around that time I was looking. It was about a year. When was this released? Doodle doodles. Look at the top of my head. Look at that gray hair. 2012 it was released. So I probably picked this up in 2013 on eBay real cheap. Mila Jovovich, always been a fan. Speaking of eye candy. The Three Musketeers. This is a, whatchamacallit movie, isn't it? Paul W.S. Anderson, yeah, the Resident Evil guy, with his wife. That is his wife, right? Mila? Yeah. She left Luc Besson to go with Paul W.S. Anyway, it's a fun movie. The 3D is really good in this. I don't think this is 16:9. I think this is 2:3. And the black on top. So as with most movies that have are widescreen like that, you're missing a nice full three-dimensional immersive picture. But from what I remember, lots of swords and things and stunts happen, and I'll just, because it's been probably 2013 since I saw this. I'll say the 3D is adequate. Yeah, I'll just say that. But yeah, this is a it might have even been a rental copy, because on the back it even has basic. It's like a sticker. It says basic Blu-ray DVD movie. And then we got the old Armoray, and it's a 2-disc Blu-ray 3D and DVD, and it's in the collection for whenever I'm looking for some fun action. Although I haven't gone back to it because there's so much other better action. So, but it's there. Oh, you peeked. Yeah, Three Stooges. I love the boys. I love these guys. Why they never, to this day, released the original Three Stooges shorts that were filmed in 3D, I have no idea. Was one of them called Spooks? I can't think of what they were called. But instead, they chose to take 4 obscure ones. One real classic, one that I love. It's one of my favorite. The first series, I don't call them series, the first few years of the Three Stooges. Woman Haters Club, if that's the one it's called. The one that's like a musical. It's like the first or second one they did. Might have been the first. Disorder in the Court, the doctors, Calling Dr. Fine, Dr. Harry, Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard, which I do believe was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Short Film back in the 30s when that came out. But they did Disorder in the Court, Brideless Groom, Hold Hands You Lovebirds, Sing a Song of Sixpence, and Malice in the Palace. Is that the Maha Aha? I don't think so. King Rootin' Tootin'. But yeah, and they colorized them. This is the same company that did the March of the Wooden Soldiers and the Little Rascals shorts in 3D. Surprisingly good depth in these. If you really focus on the image, like let's just say Disorder in the Court. You have all these people in the courtroom, and then you have them up front. There's a beautiful separation between the people in this aisle, and this aisle, and this aisle, and this aisle, and then the judge up front. There's some real nice separation going on there. And when they did this, I was like, do more. Do some of the others. Do the one with the beer barrels rolling down the hill. Do that one. Do the one where they're remodeling the house, and Mo drinks the paint, and Curly's waiting for the bird to come out of the cuckoo clock to paint. I love the Stooges, man. But they never did. They only did the one, and it's in a not so cheapo eco case. And yeah, like I said, just like March of the Wooden Soldiers, and make myself cry when I laugh. Something's connected. And Little Rascals. They did some good jobs. But man, I want the originals. I want the original shorts that were in 3D, the way they were shot in 3D. I want those. I want them, damn it. Come on. Put them out. This one I had to definitely buy, and I'm glad I did. And the consensus on the Blu-ray.com 3D forums is that this is a must-have, definitely, because it is done by the great Ben Stassen, who knows how to do three-dimensional animated family fare. I praised the Sammy films, Sammy 1 and Sammy 2, Secret Passage, about how beautifully depthful the 3D presentation is. I mean, you'd be sitting there on your couch and things are coming this close to your face, and you actually feel like you can just reach out and grab. If all 3D movies were done that way, my God, 3D would still be alive and vibrant. much better than today. Well, he did this other little movie called Thunder and the House of Magic. There's the cover. Then I have to take that, although this is a Walmart exclusive when I bought it. I don't know why. Maybe because it came out earlier than a normal release date, or maybe because it came with the slipcover. I'm not sure why. But from the producers of Turtles Tale and Turtles Tale 2, yeah, again, things are coming right out at you. Things are not things where you go, but just the beauty, the total immersion of the present, the immersive presentation. The way my words get all discombobulated. And a fun story, a really fun story with a lot of great characters. There we go, the Blu-ray 3D and the Blu-ray with advertisements for Monster in Paris, which I do have. Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart, I don't have. And Adele Blanc Sec. Oh, I remember that movie. That's a live action, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of like a female Indiana Jones, but there's flying dinosaurs and pterodactyls and other things going on. That's a fun movie. Featuring the music of Selena Gomez. Yeah, it comes with 3D, Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy. But Thunder and the House of Magic. If you're a 3D fan and you're looking for demo material, like I mentioned before, and you're looking for movies to show off to people, get the two Sammy movies and get this movie. Just beautiful, 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 beautiful. This one, wow, it's falling apart. Wow, it's actually falling apart. The glue is kind of wasting away in Margaritaville here. Might have to re-glue this. This one, unfortunately, suffers from the black bars on the top and the bottom. 2.35 to 1. I'm sure in the theaters it looked good. This is a Spielberg, Peter Jackson film, and it was directed by Steven Spielberg, which a lot of people probably forget. The Adventures of Tintin. Yeah, The Adventures of Tintin. And this is a limited 3D edition. Yeah, this, you know how they fold? It's like kind of, you gotta just press it. But it's got the slipcover. 3-disc, Blu-ray, 3D Blu-ray, and DVD. Really enjoyed it. Was not a fan of I knew of Tintin. I had these children's activity books when I was very, very young. And in a few of them, they had a few of the comic strips. Maybe these books originated in Europe, and I got them. But they had projects. They had like connected dots and things like that. And every once in a while, there was a page of comic strips, and it was Tintin. And I never really was a fan. Never really read them. Well, I did read them, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool looking kid. He's got that weird thing on his head, which turns out to be the hair. But boy, the look, the caricature, the character designs in this movie are fantastic. You know, big nose, big jaws, a hairy beard, and the captain, and the visuals are stunning. Very great. There's a fantastic, I think it's a single shot chase scene through a city that's really, really well done. But again, I think if it was open matted, full 16:9, it would be a better visual presentation. 3D is still there. 3D is very good in it. Did I show this? Anything? Well, I'm showing it again. But yeah, I enjoy it, and it's great. And like I said, a lot of people I think forgot that Spielberg did that. Kind of in the middle of when he was doing those serious, you know, like Munich and the new one. Now this, you know, this was the big moneymaker of the world. I think probably before, this might have been up there on the top before Avatar came out. It's James Cameron's movie. And when this came out, you know, all the talk was, he's Mr. 3D. He did Avatar. He did that too. overlooked the 3D conversion of this movie, and the praise was out of this world. I think it's phenomenal for a movie not in 3D, not originally filmed in 3D. This is one of my favorite conversions, next to like Jurassic Park and a few others. But it's Cameron's Titanic, the classic love story, disaster film. It's heavy. The whole thing is pretty heavy. This is remastered and converted to 3D. And when this came out and everybody loved it, that's when everybody was like, T2, True Lies in 3D, wouldn't that be great? The Abyss in 3D, oh, it'd be so great. I was talking to someone today. It's like with him doing the next 3 Avatar movies, they're filming all 3 back to back right now. 2, 3, and 4. He hasn't gone back to remaster True Lies or The Abyss. They're sitting there on DVD in a non-16 by 9. I don't think they still released them full. So you got black on top and bottom and on the sides. And everybody was like, yes, at least remaster your films, then go do Avatar. Anyway, this has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs in it. Disc 1, oh yeah, disc 1 and disc 2 are part 1 and part 2 of the movie split with an intermission. And again, I found the 3D pretty damn phenomenal in this for a conversion. This and it puts you there. I enjoyed being there in 3D. That's all Roger's got to say. This I didn't think much. I thought this is going to be like iRobot, or what's another one they convert? Predator, which, you know, I said I'll watch those versions from now on. When I want to watch those, I'll watch Predator 3D, even though the DNR crap. And I'll watch the 3D version of iRobot, even though it's not perfect. When this one came out, I was like, well, I'm going to get it. It was pretty cheap from what I remember. Maybe like $14 when it was original, for an original price. I think I got this for like $14. And I've never owned this in my collection, even on DVD. I've seen it. I've seen it on cable reruns over and over, and it was never a favorite. This is the best movie ever to me. I had friends that loved this movie, still to this day. And I figured, okay, I'm picking up the 3D version, and I was pretty surprised at how well the 3D works in this. It's an old, grainy, it's very grainy movie from 86, and I thought the conversion's pretty damn good. We're talking Tom Cruise and Top Gun. Top Cruise, did I say? No, I said Tom Cruise. Top Gun, yeah. The aerial fights, there's some great planes here, and the sky is out in the background, and just the bar scene when he's sitting there talking to the, what's her name? I can't think of her name. Kelly McGillis. She's all curly, fluffy hair, and you could kind of look, and it isn't one of those cheap conversions where you see like the flat image behind the image they pulled out, but you could see the curls. They really took their time and did a decent job in this, I thought. But comes with the Blu-ray 3D and the DVD, or the Blu-ray. Or is that a DVD? No, it's Blu-ray. Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray. Yeah, so now it's finally in my collection, and I've watched it a few times. I really have. I brought this up in a video, an IMO or something, that I was gonna start. I really feel like talking about 80s movies, because that was a great time for me, going to the movies a lot. I mean, the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, well, most of the 70s, went to a lot of movies. And but the 80s was such a great, fun time at the movies. So many great movies came out in the 80s. And this being one of the classics, I'll say. Not going to say it's great, but I'm going to say it's a classic movie from the 80s. Oh, what was the other movie that I talked about? Does it say it's the sequel to or the prequel to? I think this is the prequel to that other movie. I can't think of it right now. But it's a Japanese horror film that, what the heck was it called? It's going to bug me now. But anyway, that one was about people in a movie theater, if I'm not mistaken. It's another Japanese. And this, I believe, is the prequel about the kid that is tormented by a rabbit. Tormented in 3D. To be honest, I only saw that other one, which from what I remember had a lot of crosstalk. There were things floating, images and that. But to me, there were crosstalk. Could have been my television or whatever. But this I believe is the prequel to that movie. And I picked it up. Not so cheapo eco case. I think I put it in for 15 minutes just to give it a look, how the 3D was. And the 3D, from what I remembered, looked pretty good, very strong. But I never really watched the whole thing. So I think I'm going to have to watch both of those movies one night. Just to watch them again. But you know, it's like the ring one that I have, that you know, with the hair. What's her name? Sadako? Not Sadako. That's the game, right? Back in the 90s. Yeah, back in the 90s, I was big into J-horror. Got all into The Ring and The Grudge and Uzuma. Oh, the one with the snails, with the people turning into snails. Not people, but all that stuff. House, which is Criterion I got, which is great. Battle Royale. But not so much now. Not so much J-horror now. Oh, Dark Water, which they remade. They remade all these, you know. But I remember watching the originals and importing the originals on DVD. That was fun. That was a fun time too. Just seeing films that nobody. Naked Flesh. Was it Naked Flesh? The one with the doctor that would make people get off on cutting pieces and frying their hand and eating it. Some weird, twisted stuff. Oh, and then all the Takeshi Mike stuff I was watching back then. Visitor Q and Itchy and, oh man, Audition. Anyway, wow. Forgot all about those J-horrors. Uzumaki? I think it was Uzumaki, the snail one. The circular thing. Anyway, so this, the third one came out, and it was in 3D, and everybody loved it. I didn't go see it, and I was going to buy it, and I was like, no, because I had heard just Disney was doing, it was around the Beauty and the Beast, it was around Lion King, Little Mermaid, they were converting Finding Nemo, they were converting their movies into 3D, and they were bringing them back to the theaters. And they did Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2, and then this box set came out with all three of them in 3D, and I decided to pick it up, and it was the best way to get them, because I got them at a pretty decent price. Toy Story 1, as my hand is covered over it. I'll cover it, just the one disc. Do these have extras? I wonder if these have a whole bunch of extras on them. Oh, wait, here. Zabadoo, Zabadoo, Zabadoo. They don't list extras at all, so maybe these are just the movies version. Toy Story 2 has Woody's like that. Peace. There's a snake in my boot. There we go. Single disc. And 3. Upside down. There's still a snake in my boot. Comes in a nice little box. So it was a great way to get them all. And like I think I was telling somebody on my message group in one of my videos that I don't have the Ice Age, because I was thinking they're going to do an Ice Age box set like this. And then I still haven't picked up any of those other than that Christmas half-hour special one. But with Scrat. But I decided not to wait with Kung Fu Panda, and so I got 1, 2, and then I'll pick up the third one separately. I'm not waiting for no damn box set. I'm just gonna. But these, you know, after the third one, there was talk that they're not gonna do a Toy Story anymore, and now they're kind of talking they're gonna do a fourth one. So I don't know what they're gonna do since Andy went away, you know, to college and all. But yeah, there's no extras. They just list all the specs, the DTS and Spanish, French, all that stuff. Digitally remastered. The 3D. 3D is adequate, you know, for Pixar. To be totally honest, well, Brave is really good. Finding Nemo has its moments. They're okay. They're okay, but they're nowhere near this, you know, Ben Strassen, Thunder in the House, and the Turtle, Sammy's Adventures. Nowhere near as good as those. Do I even have the first one? I think I do, because I want to talk about it later in another video. Wow, we talked so long. Where are we? Hour 6. Yeah, you know, mindless. And we got a couple left. I'm defending my collection. Yeah, there's the shoulder. Knock it off. I like spectacle, and when it's in 3D, I like big spectacle. You know, just like San Andreas. You know, I want to see things blow up and explode in 3D, and these movies did not disappoint. They did 2 movies that were in 2D, and then they said, hey, let's make the rest of them in 3D, since everybody likes 3D. And we're talking about the Transformers movies. Another television series that I never watched from the 80s. But no, there's a huge fan base. No, there's big toy collectors out there that love these toys. To be totally honest, I love the concept. I love the storyline that they're here on Earth and they camouflage themselves as vehicles to hide, and then they break open and they become these giant robot things. I love that concept. I think it's a fantastic concept for even for an animated, and then now with the beautiful world of special effects where we can do anything. I love that they visually can do that. Yeah, Michael Bay, and visually eye candy. Story wise, is this Shia LaBeouf? This is the Shia LaBeouf, right? He's in this thing. LaBeouf. Michael Bay. Dark of the Moon. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. 3D, not too bad, really. I put this in quite a few times, especially the final this one especially because it's Chicago. And when I found out that they were going to be blowing up the city, 3D, yeah, it's my city. I grew up in this city, and I want to see the Sears Tower fall down, or and I saw a lot of filming stuff on the news and on YouTube that people had just filmed explosions and stuff. But I watched that big, well, probably the last hour of the movie, I watched this a bunch of times in 3D just to get the eye candy, just to have fun with it. This one, not too much on the story, although I do like that they brought, was it Wahlberg? I always get Wahlberg and Matt Damon. Oh, that did come out. I gotta pick up Mark Wahlberg. I gotta pick up Durka. What is that called? South Park guys. That's on Blu-ray. I just saw that got a release and I haven't picked it up yet. Why haven't I picked that up yet? Why can't I think of the name of that movie? Damn it! Wait, let me take the elixir. Team America. Elixir always. I came up with an idea. No, anyway. Transformers, Age of Extinction. Just as fun as the others, you know. Big old set. 3D is a lot of really well done, I thought. For me, for my eyes, the 3D really works. Yeah. Hey, I had an idea the other day, and I told it to someone today, and they said, you know, it's one of those things again that if you were in Hollywood, you know, my Mummy, my Universal Brendan Fraser thing I talked about. Go watch my Defending where I talk about the movie The Mummy on Blu-ray, and you'll hear my idea, what I had, that they should have went with that series. And they didn't. They just made Mummy 2, 3, 4. Every once in a while I get a little ding. It's like, they could do it like that, and it would work. Okay. This is, I don't care if anybody steals this. I'm saying it. It's going to be posted tomorrow. Well, tonight, and then tomorrow it's going live. This is Sunday. Hey, everybody, happy Sunday. And it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day if today's your mother. Happy Mother's Day if you are a mother. That didn't sound good either. So anyway, I got 2 more to talk about, and then we're done. But I just want to throw this out. You know they're doing another Indiana Jones movie, right? Spielberg. I don't know if Lucas is going to be part of it, but Harrison Ford and, you know, Spielberg, and they're doing another. Now, if they take this idea, I think it's great, and maybe they already thought this, but I was just thinking the other day, and I was like, what a brilliant idea to do. And maybe they're going to. Maybe there's some weird psychic, and I got the same wavelength. Because as far as I look online, there's nothing about this idea. And so anyway, I was sitting there going, you know, Harrison Ford is, he can't do another one. He just, you know, he's not going to be in any more Star Wars movies. What more can they do? They don't want to recast. You know, there was talk about what's his name from Jurassic World and Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, him being the Indiana Jones, him being the Harrison Ford character, Indiana Jones, and then there was other people. But I was thinking, you know, the first movie was Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it was about the Ark of the Covenant. And the second one was about the stones. I can't think what they were called, the Stones of Shala or something. And then he saves the children, which is my favorite of the trilogy. And then they did the Holy Grail, right? Holy Grail, the Cup of Jesus. And then they did the alien head one, and everyone, okay, there he is. Yeah. And he was a man. And they made little jokes about how he's getting too old, and, you know. And then they taught the hat was going to go to Shia LaBeouf, and he was going to take over, and they trashed that idea. Well, if they seriously want to continue the Indiana Jones character in future movies and possibly recast another actor, let's have a story where our Harrison Ford Indiana Jones searches or comes across the Fountain of Youth and takes a drink, and all of a sudden he's the new actor, a younger Indiana Jones. And then they continue the series on from there. Fountain of Youth is no more crazier than the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. Why not? Why not? Wouldn't that be a cool idea to continue the character, the Indiana Jones saga? to have him be Indiana Jones, but he's now just younger. Just don't let him drink too much, because then he's going to be a little baby running around. You don't want to see that. Raiders of the Lost Rattle. Oh, my rattle. But I think that's a great idea. Isn't that a great idea? I don't know. That's me. I hope Spielberg got the feelers. Shoot the antennae. I hope he. I just think that's a pretty brilliant way to pass the torch to another actor, a younger actor, and then continue making those Indiana Jones adventure films. Anyway, we're going on to the last two, and this one, somewhat disappointed with the 3D. I mean, there are moments that really work and look great, and this is one of those movies that were premiered at IMAX and were shot with different aspect ratios, meaning it's 2.35. And then when big special effects scenes would come up, it would go to full frame. And it's that way on the Blu-ray disc. Just like The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight did the same thing. And I think one of the Transformers movies did that. Yeah, where they switched the... Tron. Love the light cycles. Love the original classic. Gosh, love the video arcade game. God, I spent hundreds of dollars on that game, playing that game. The stand-up one, not the disc one. I could never get the hang of the disc one, but the one with the spiders, and then the cones coming down, and then the bikes, and then the tanks. That was my game. I love that game. That, and then Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, and we can go into video arcade games. But Tron, yeah, I was kind of disappointed with the 3D. When I heard it was going to be in 3D, I was like, that's fantastic. Has a freaking fantastic score. I love the music score. Is it Chemical Brothers? Is that who does the two guys with the helmets? You don't see their faces. And there's a scene in the club that gets all shot up, and they're changing the music through it, and to get Jeff Bridges back was perfect, because we needed that. We needed him again to be the one that's still in the machine, and then his army, but it is what it is. It's Tron, and it's a no slipcover. Wow, no slip. You got a slipcover to Tron? Send it to me. But I've watched it a few times. I usually, if I get an inkling to watch the original the original Tron with Bit, I usually throw this one in maybe the next day. Not necessarily the same day, but maybe the next day or later in the week. I'll watch this version, and in 3D, of course. Always watch the scenes. The disc thing was really well done in 3D, I thought. And the light cycles, not as good as it could have been. I don't know what was missing, but the idea of them and then leading a tail, and that you can't cross or else you'll crash, was such a... Just imagine that in 3D. And for some reason, I didn't find it too cool. I don't know why. This was a blind buy, another family film, and I loved it. I loved this movie. This was such a fun film. Saw the trailer a few times and thought it was going to be stupid. But then I saw, it's going to be 3D, and Disney released it. Disney? Is that you? Wait, it's not Disney. Who did this one? DreamWorks. I do like a lot of DreamWorks films. Very, very compatible there with Pixar. They do some really good stuff, DreamWorks. But I enjoyed this one. This was fun. And this is the little snail, Turbo. And kind of a family version of Days of Thunder. Was that the movie? The Tom Cruise race movie? Days of Thunder. Yeah. I had a blast with this. I really enjoyed it. I put it in figuring, well, okay, I'm watching it for the 3D. We'll see how it is. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 discs. And Peabody here, my pet Sherman. I had a great time with it. I don't know what to say. Boy, that snail was fast. Had a cool song at the end. Had me feeling really good after I watched it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought the 3D was really, really good in this too. I don't know. I don't. Am I saying this wrong? Shouldn't I say this? Because I'm thinking about Crudes that I just watched a while ago, and then the Despicable Me. Is DreamWorks 3D films, animated films, better than the Pixar ones? Are they better? I don't know. I seem to have memories of the DreamWorks movies being a little more pop out than the Pixar. I don't know. But anyway, there you go. Those are the teas in my 3D Blu-ray collection. We've just come to the teas. I just drew a blank. I was like, what do I say? What do I say? Stage fright. The next video is the last. It's the last of my 3D Blu-ray collection video. It'll consist of the U's through Z's. U, yeah, U through the Z's, because I don't have many of U, V, W, X, Y, Z, but I have enough, probably about as much as we just went through, that'll consist of those. And that'll be the last of the 3D movies I have in my collection. And that'll be the last of every Blu-ray movie in my collection video. But like I said, it's not the final defending my collection video. Because as I said, I think when I do season 3, I'm going to be going through my DVD collection and showing you what I still have on DVD that is yet to be released on Blu-ray, which is a shame. But before I do that, because I think I'm going to take a break between seasons, but I'm going to have a special video following the next Defending 3D movie video. And that I'm keeping kind of under wraps until I post it and premiere it. But I think it's going to be fun. I know it's going to be fun. And I think it might spawn some really interesting conversations in the message area. And like I said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to let that go. If all goes well, that won't be next week, but that'll be the week after. Next week, if all goes well, next Monday, I will have the U, V, W, X, Y, and Z movies. And then the following week, which I believe is the end of May, the 27th, no, what am I doing? Mondays, the 30th. No, wait a moment. The 16th will be the U's through Z's. The 23rd will be a belch. The 23rd will be the special secret video. What could it be? I don't know. Why don't you tell him? No, I'm not going to tell him. We'll tell him. Give him a hint. I hinted already in this video a few times, and that's all I'll say. And if you guess it, I'm not going to say you're right or wrong. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun little, a fun look, that final video. And it does have to do with 3D. That's all I'll say. So anyway, that's the end of this video. Yeah, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by if you just happened across this video. And it was like, what is this all about? He's talking, some guy's talking about 3D movies, and I don't have a 3D set. Don't worry, just see the movies anyway, because they're good movies. If I like them, then you, well, I don't know. Some I might not like. Some you might hate, you know. But maybe I mentioned some movies like the T.S. Spivet movie that you never heard of that you go, that sounds interesting. I might give that a chance. And you should, because that's a pretty damn cool movie. Heartwarming. It might pull a few tears out of you. It does me. You know, hell, you guys know old Roger D. He likes to cry. I don't know. I don't know. There's something, I cry when I laugh, and I cry when the emotions rise. I just can't hide it. I've always been an emotional guy. So anyway, yeah, this is your old pal Roger D. Pal. Hey, I'm a pal. From from Channel Donstar with the T 3D movies on defending my collection. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Happy birthday if today's your birthday. Today is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day if you are a mother. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.